Hello ladies, happy Wednesday. I hope it's a happy Wednesday for everyone. Come on ladies. I can see one. Do you want to identify yourself? I can't see who it is. I think the technology will come through when anyone comes online. There's a trick here. You have to just, when you are online, you have to press into that to identify yourself. I know some would like to identify themselves, some would not to. That's absolutely fine as long as you watch it. Come on, ladies. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. It's already April, almost going to finish next week. Oh my Lord. Months roll, isn't it? And what were we doing last year? We were all stuck at home, isn't it? Everywhere it was closed and everything. And I do hear the same news up in India now, right? Oh my Lord. It's really bad. Only thing we can do is support each other, pray for each other, spread the positive vibes, and that's all we can do. The group prayers can do wonders, and we are a group of 8,000 plus. So I would urge you all to pray, pray, pray. That's all we can do at the moment. We just need to support one another. Come on, ladies. I need more people. Come on. Yay, I can see the second person come in. It's a very interesting topic today. Oh, hi, Jugni. Thank you. Hi. Come on, ladies. So how was your Wednesday, or how was your weekend and weekday? It just goes. It just comes in and just goes. Don't even realize. And we are already April, almost finishing. Right. Oh dear. Oh dear. Come on, ladies. It just can't be Jugni and me. Come on. I need more people. It's a very interesting topic today. I tell you, we have all experienced coming from homeland, right? Yay, I can see one person in there. Shobha, hi. Thank you for joining. Come on, come on. It's always interesting when we talk about art, right? So art, it's so varied. You have the performing arts, you have the visual arts, you have the contemporary art. Oh, it's so varied. And, I'm lost because I'm not an art person. So Jugni will be telling all about art. Okay, let me just wait for some more people to come in and then I can introduce Jugni and tell about what the session was. Well, today I have draped a Kora Banaras sari. It's a Kora muslin sari or a Kora Banaras sari. That is what the sari is called. I think I have probably draped it for the third time or maybe the fourth time. Beautiful shades of gray and magenta is a beautiful combination. Well, that's what I think. I hope you all like too. Your comments would be highly appreciated. You know what, the other day, someone was asking me, and plus on Messenger as well, wanting to know what I do. Of course, I work full-time. It's a very busy job. I'm into medical recruitment. I would probably say it in layman terms, but it's basically, if I kind of go via my title, it's called medical workforce manager. It's basically looking after the numbers of medical staff in the hospital. It's a public hospital, so I cover 6 hospitals. So it's a full-on job. Start at 8:30 in the morning, finish at 5. It's non-stop. It's never ending. It's busy. So I have to make sure that I work for mental health. So it's all my doctors are psychiatry registrars and the psychiatrists. So I have to make sure the psychiatrists are well placed in all parts of the hospital, right? In all the hospitals, in all different wards. Like you have got different specialties, like drug and alcohol, adolescent and child psychiatry, that's the child and adolescent psychiatry, and you have the older people mental health service. Like, you know, it's kind of like varied. So I've got to make sure everything is staffed, and you know, so that's what I do at the moment. So it's a full-on job. And yes, I do party a lot, right? What else to do? That's what's life all about. So enjoy life. Life is short, so enjoy. So that's what I end up doing all the time, right? I'm busy. I keep myself busy so that, like, you know, I don't wander around or waver around, and I just kind of, like, you know, stay tuned. So it's basically, and plus I started this Facebook live session about 45 weeks ago. Will be reaching a year very shortly, which I'm very, very proud of. You know, a lot of time and effort goes in to do these Facebook live sessions. It was last year around about May, I think. A few of them approached me and they were very depressed, and, you know, they were just tied up with house chores, like, you know, obviously because of COVID, they couldn't go anywhere. It was just like, especially the women folk, we're just so busy in the kitchen. And I was just thinking, you know, what I can do to the community sitting here, like, you know, obviously we can't do anything. And then I thought, okay, I have to come up with something. And I came up with this brilliant idea. Just stay home, dress up at the same time in your beautiful sari, and then, you know, bring a talent across from the group to the group. So it's like a community kind of like work, which I do. I take pride in what I do, and I do spend a lot of time. Wednesdays, 4 hours is gone for this session, right? I finish work at 5. Come here, eat a little bit, and then get ready, and then prepare for the session. You know what? I promote the event. For that, I have to sit and write a bit. And it's basically nudging all the presenters, you know, give me your write-up, give me a few photos of yours. Like, you know, that's always the case. And anyway, I'm very, very patient. So I'll wait till everyone gives in. And then, you know, I have to prepare the post. I just can't say, okay, this is so-and-so presenting. I have to give a background to that. So I kind of like, you know, go back and think, you know, what to write. And then, you know, I post that. It takes a lot of time. Whoever has done posting, they all know how much time it takes. And then after the event, I post about my sari. I post about how the event was. And, you know, it really takes a lot of time, but I'm not complaining that, you know, I'm taking a lot of time. I enjoy doing it. So it's my passion and I love doing it. And I'm just giving it back to the community. So it would be great if, you know, people like you support us by at least watching and appreciating not only me, like, you know, I don't care whether I'm appreciated or not, but I do whatever I have to do. I really don't care, okay? Negative comments, I don't care. Positive comments, I don't care. But it's nice if at least the presenters are literally appreciated for what they do. Because I kind of like, you know, look for something very unique, very different, within the group, like, you know, the talent within the group, and present it to y'all. So it will be very nice if you guys can join in and watch and appreciate and take some message back. Like, you know, every event is kind of like, you know, has got a message to take on. So it would be great if that could be carried on, and I would love to do that, right? So, all right, moving on. I have blabbered a little bit there. Now I'll start the session. Today's session is Wholesome Wednesday, session number 45. This is saris and visual arts. we talk a lot about visual arts, right? It could be like a visual art, it could be like a painting or a drawing, and a performing art could be like a dance or musical session. You know, there are different forms of art, and I've got Jugni who would be presenting this tonight. Sorry, I'm just interrupted by a message there. She's basically an art educationist. Like, I have come across quite a few who are into art, but not an art educationist. So there's a lot of difference, like, you know, what art is all about and what it involves, because I'm not into art, but scratching from, you know, from the base or the foundation and figuring it out, what it entails and what it takes someone to become an artist is really, really interesting, and it's a nice journey. And I will be introducing Jugni very shortly. Just let me just read out her blurb. It's really interesting, like, you know, her background and everything. She is originally from Pakistan, and she's now settled in Sydney. And she graduated from the famous college called National College of Arts from Lahore. Actually, I didn't know that it was a prestigious college. I Googled and I figured that it is very hard to get into that National College of Arts. That reminds me to tell y'all, my niece is a bachelor in fine arts, right? When she was taking that fine arts subject, there was so much resistance, like, you know, including me, like, you know, I was telling, oh, no, that's not the right way. Like, you know, she has to do something else. But later on, it was just a fraction of a second, like there was a bit of resistance. And then I thought, no, if she is wanting to do that, yes, that's the pathway she needs to go. And she studied in Mysore, which is Kava, I think, oh God, I don't know what it stands for. It's like Kaveri, something, it's Kava. And she got into that. And then, like, you know, the discussion started, right? Oh my God, what college is it? What is fine arts? What exactly do you want to do? Do you want to, like, you know, paint and draw and sculpt and do things like that? And, you know, these were the questions we were asking. And, you know, it's the same scenario. Like, you know, I'll be throwing a lot of questions to Jugni. And that is what she has done, right? And that didn't stop her from there, you know, getting a bachelor's degree. And then she ended up doing her MPhil from the art education from the Teachers College in New York. And, you know, it's something to think about, like, you know, getting an MPhil as an art educationist. It's really wonderful, like, you know, emphasizing what art is all about and how important it is in our lives. And she has exhibited her various work in different countries across the globe and has won several awards. And her conceptual work involves around the diaspora, like, you know, we all know what she means about that. And she actually uses an interesting title, Dobika Kutta Naghatka, sorry, Nagharka Naghatka. Probably Jugni will shed some light on that, what she exactly means, according to her wording, what exactly she means. And right now she has got her own studio in Schofields. She lives in Schofields, and she runs paint and sip events. So if anyone is interested, you're most welcome to contact her. And she has got different forms of techniques she uses in her artwork, and she will be presenting a few of those. And I'm so eager to see all of them. And, you know, Albert Einstein said, creativity is contagious, pass it on. So Jugni will be passing that on to all of us tonight, and we will witness her do the session. And it's basically a chit chat. Basically, I'll be asking her questions and she will be answering all of that. I hope so, hopefully. And let me bring her in. I have added her. Jugni, can you accept the request? It's already sitting in your notification folder. Until you accept that, I won't be able to add you again because it doesn't let me. It's thinking that you're already in there. Not bad. Whilst I wait. Okay. Right. I have added you, Jugni. It's asked me to connect. Hi, Jugni.
Hello, Hema, how are you?
Good, good, good. Hope I introduced you rightly.
Yes, you did.
Excellent,
Perfectly and beautifully.
excellent, excellent. Jugni, thank you. Thank you for giving your precious time and, joining this chit chat session,
Thank
emphasizing
you
about
for
art.
inviting me, Hema.
What's that?
Thank you for inviting me for
Oh,
this.
thank you. Oh, pleasure, pleasure. I literally look for something very unique and different, you see. So I keep my eyes wide open, whoever I see or talk or whatever. So that is what it would be. All right, Jugni, I'll let you start the session. You start off. I think you wanted to say something about yourself, a little bit about yourself and your sari, what you're draped, etc., etc. Start off and then I will start my real session.
Yeah, okay. So the sari I have draped today is from Pink Tree Company. It's a designer company. It's a guild, designer guild in Pakistan, and it's one of my favorite places to shop from. And this sari, as you can see, it shows diversity. So it has the religious symbols from all the religions, almost all the religions
Oh,
that
that's
I
so
know.
beautiful.
Yeah, this is Chand, Tara, Crescent, and
Yeah.
Star from Islam. Then this is from, you would know very well, Hinduism.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
then
Oh,
Akhanda
that's
from
excellent.
Sikhism.
I'm impressed.
So the sari truly represents of how I think of life and how I think of humanity, because I think that religion is just boxes that people of every region have created according to their own needs. But the bottom line is same, humanity.
Yeah.
And I hope that it prevails in the coming times more than it does right now. One
Yeah.
can only try and stay humane and raise the next generation accordingly.
Yeah. Yeah. And what does your pallu say, Jugni? I did see something there in your pallu.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell about this.
Yeah.
So this is a ghazal by an Indian poet.
Uh-huh.
I'm forgetting her name. Um, Zahra, Zahra Shah.
Right. Uh-huh.
And it says, most of the people won't be able to read Urdu. It says, Zahra ne bahut din se kuch nahi likha. So Zahra
Right.
hasn't written for a quite long time. And
Uh-huh.
the second best thing about this sari is that, anyone who belongs to a creative field, what we call it is an artist block. Sometimes um, for days or weeks go by when we can't come up with a new idea to work on.
Yeah.
So it truly represents that as well, because I am a creative person and I often suffer from the artist block.
Right. Right. Okay. So basically, she is from India, but where did you get that from? You said you got it from Pakistan, though.
Yes,
Uh,
the
the
poetry is
poem was
from an
written
Indian
by,
poetess.
okay, okay, the Indian poetess, but you got the sari from Pakistan.
Yes, because
Oh,
she writes in Urdu or Hindi, it's the same
yeah,
thing, and
yes.
you can change the scripture. I'm not sure if she originally wrote it in Urdu or Hindi,
Okay.
but yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, and
that's
her name is not Zahra Shah, her name is Zahra Nigah.
okay. That's lovely. Very nice to know. Very nice to know. I hadn't heard this before, so it's an interesting one. And I loved your sari. It's so so
Thank you so much.
unique. And white is peaceful and purity, which is really really nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right, Jugni. My goodness, you have done a lot on art and you are an art educationist. So, what do you mean by an art educationist?
Well, an art educationist is someone who facilitates you to produce your own artwork.
Right,
I won't use the word teacher. I'm not a teacher because teacher sounds like someone who is superior to you.
right.
But whenever someone is teaching you to do something, actually they are learning during that process as well. So what we call it is facilitator now,
Okay.
and because we facilitate them and they facilitate us back into our learning process. So even today, when I'm teaching, I was having art classes for the young kids during the Easter holidays, and till date there is so much to be learned. And sometimes I feel like that the most that you can learn is from the younger kids.
Right. Okay. Because they come up with ideas, is it? Is it because they are fresh and with new ideas, or what is it about?
It's about their approach. It is contagious, and it should be rightly so, because their ideas are um, not predetermined
Yeah.
and not preconditioned.
Correct. Yeah.
Whenever
Yeah.
someone who has done a degree in arts, we are taught certain things, such as don't do commercial artwork, and um, don't do things that don't add value to you. And by value, they mean financial value. But I have taken it upon myself. In Pakistan, I was selling very well. My pieces would go out like hotcakes. But when I came here, I realized that most of the people of our region are the first generation here.
Correct.
You barely ever meet someone who's the second or third generation. There is a percentage of them, but that's pretty low. So the people who have recently migrated here, they have struggled a lot.
Hmm.
And growing up, our region always, the way you told about your niece's decision, that
Yeah.
art is always looked down upon.
Correct.
And
Is
you
it
can be
still the
three
same
things
thing
in
in
our region.
Pakistan as well?
You can, yeah, it's the same in Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, because
Yeah.
we are the third world countries, and it is true that you need to be able to earn enough money. But the
Yeah.
misconception is that you won't be able to do it if you choose a creative field. So in Pakistan, and the similar regions, you can be three things. Either you can be a doctor, an engineer, or
Engineer.
a disappointment.
Exactly, exactly. Even bringing up my son, those were the three choices. Like, I was brought up in the same way, and then he said, "No, no, no, I'm going to do my way," and he ended up choosing finance. That's a different story. But like even now, like especially like when you see the kids going to school at the moment, like an interesting story to share with. We kind of like walk in Olympic Park, and there were two events happening. One was the sports event, which was right next to the stadium, and the other
Yeah.
one was a selective school, a kind of like information day or something. And you could see the crowd, right? The near the stadium, it was only Gorelok, like it was only the whites. And towards this side, where the information session was held, it was only like you talk about Sri Lankans, Indians, Pakistanis, Bangladesh, Korean, Chinese, like all the migrant people in there. So that's the kind of like difference you see even coming here. Like it's so well kind of like imbibed into us that
It is.
career path is just nothing but like be a doctor or be an engineer. That's all it is, and it's very very hard for us to come out of it. So
Yeah.
it's very hard, like
But it is
how.
very important now to unlearn that. Not that we are in the first world country. I mean, every migrant has um, worked really hard towards coming into a first world country and adapting it. Not that only, I'm not speaking in terms of doing a professional degree and then getting the proper visa, not just that, but of course, when we are talking about the diaspora, that's why most of my conceptual work is about the diaspora.
Sure.
You uproot yourself from somewhere and then you're rerouting yourself into a new place.
Into a new
It takes
place,
a
yeah.
while. So
Yeah.
we need to understand this now, that we have done that, we have played the major role in our kids' lives to facilitate them. and they can make better choices. They can have an alternate lifestyle,
Correct.
and they
Like
can
now,
go
the
into their.
choices are so many what you get here. So you're just lost. Like, for what the choice you're going to select, you're just lost for it because the combinations are different, multifaceted, multidimensional. It's so varied as compared to India. Like even back home, it's like, picking up now. But
Yeah.
when compared to both the countries, like, we are doing far, far better. And I'm sure the kids, like, from my point of view, like, what I would say is, like, do your career pathway first, and then as a side hobby or a hustle, like, side hustle, you can do this. That's what my approach would be. But anyway, it's widespread.
That's another nice way of looking at it, but at least you're not completely discouraging the younger generation to
Yes,
be
yeah,
creative.
not discouraging, yeah. But then, they won't be able to do justice. Like if they are very good at it, like, it doesn't give them the room to improve, and they kind of like, just stay where they are. Like, it's just an ordinary thing. But, for pursuing, you have to be more challenging yourself and, move on.
Yes, you
Yeah.
quoted something from Picasso, and Picasso also said that every person is a born artist. But when only some people, this is the I'm paraphrasing it, but he said that only a few people tend to be an artist even when they grow up. So
Oh,
you'll see the kids, all of them are very creative
great.
and they will make nice stuff for you. This is their way of expressing themselves. That is why art is more important for the children, because their verbal vocabulary might not be that solid and they would not maybe articulate their words that well to express themselves, but they
Yeah.
can express themselves on a piece of paper, on a canvas, or they can do photography. There are multidimensional ways and possibilities in which they will be able to express themselves better.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent, excellent. And moving forward, like there are so many misconceptions about art. What's the biggest one then? How do you kind of like interpret? Is it a misconception or not at all?
For a layman, the biggest misconception is that going to the galleries and exhibition is only for someone who actually can appreciate art. But I keep on telling my friends and even the most close people in my circle, they're like, okay, what have you made? And I'd be like, if I'm showing them a new work, they'd be like, tell me, what have you done there? And I'd be like, no, you tell me, what do you perceive from it? Because I have done what my conscious and subconscious guided me to do.
Yeah,
But it is for the viewer to take whatever they take from it. And that is it. That is the crux of it. Because you might look at one painting or a sculpture today and perceive one thing, and maybe you revisit that same piece in a couple of years or months, and you will take something completely different from that
yeah. It's
because
it's hard, isn't
whatever
it?
is going in your
Yeah,
life changes your perception.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that is the biggest misconception.
Conception,
Also,
yeah.
people think that quantity is equal to quality when they're buying
Quality,
art.
yeah. So this one here, you don't see the quantity, right? You see the quality of it.
Yes, I have most of my clientele is from our region, and I always tell them that buy something or get something customized that is according to your taste, something that signifies you, and something that when you put it in your home or whatever space that you're getting it for, a space truly represents you. It reflects your personality.
Yeah,
So the art is usually the cynosure of your space. So it should be the same thing for the art piece.
yeah. Okay, okay. Um, they say that art is always about self-expression or an expression of the unconscious mind. What do you say about this one?
Well, that is true to some extent, but
Uh-huh.
not necessarily. When I was in Pakistan, my work was mostly socio-political, and my work was a comment on what I and the people around me thought about the political scenarios and the social scenarios of our country. And it is very important because when you look at the history, I mean, you can read all the history books, but you
Yeah.
won't understand uh, those eras as nicely as when you look at some art pieces from that
Artwork.
time.
Yeah.
The art would, they say that a picture is better than 1,000 words. And
Yes.
that is so true because you look at a certain painting and you understand that era. I mean, when you look at the paintings from French Revolution,
Yeah.
you can teach the kids a lot about the French Revolution, and they won't understand it the way when they look at the paintings of that time, that what was going around with the people of France at that point. And I think that something similar was happening in Pakistan. And it's still happening like that because the rich are very rich, the poor are very poor. And there's such a huge gap between the socio-economical places of the people.
Right,
So when
right.
you're creating art, you do express yourself, but it's about what the subject matter is and what the painter is trying to do, because you can actually polish a complete society and you can send messages through your work.
Yeah. Say, for example, if I gave you a white canvas now, like, your perception would be so different. So, would that be whatever you would be thinking at this point of time? Like, if I ask you to do something, would that be whatever is happening at the moment, or you kind of like think of something else?
Well, if I try and draw something without thinking,
Okay.
then it would definitely come through my heart. And
Yeah.
that is what I try to do, create something that is coming from my heart. That's why I'm working on diaspora, because everyone around me is migrant. I mean, I can have Gora friends, but at the end of the day, I feel tired, like my tongue starts to twist when I'm speaking that much of English. It's with my kids, I tell them that don't talk to me in English after 8 o'clock, because I have to constantly translate that and then speak it up. But
Yeah.
my people, I can speak with them in Urdu or Hindi, and
Hindi
the
or
way I
anything.
can communicate in my own language, I
Yeah.
can never communicate that well in English, which is my second language.
Yeah.
And it's the same with art. When
Understood.
I'm talking about my people, their feelings, their emotions, then I
Yeah.
can really, really communicate it very well and express it in my work, but
Okay.
not another topic.
Okay. All right. Right. All right. Is art an initiative or a creative aspect? What do you think about that?
Well, it is creative mostly, but you always have to initiate it.
Correct. So one has
And that,
initiative and
that's a huge problem with the creative community, because we are more of thinkers than doers. And sometimes we take a lot of time to initiate something and actually do it. But once we do that, it stays with the society for a very long period.
yeah. Okay. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So we have kind of like touched based on this, but anyway, I'm kind of like, would like to hear from you. How does art affect the society and culture?
I think art can very well change a society's opinion, and it translates the experiences across space and time. Um, when we talk about partition, which is a very heavy topic for me. Growing up, we were
Yeah.
taught about it in a certain way, and when I actually grew up, I realized that, oh God, we were taught it very wrong way because it was a propaganda the way we were taught.
Yeah.
But even in those times were difficult for the people on both sides. And the artists of that time, such as poets, they
Yeah.
conveyed the messages very well, and they shaped up the society. They shaped up the region in the way that it was supposed to be shaped. So that was also a kind of propaganda, but it was done well, with a good heart, from both the sides. The artists of that era were trying to console the feelings of their own people.
Right. It also kind of like, emphasizes that, like, the neuroscientists, like, who were doing research, kind of like, came across a lot of people who were enjoying, like, for example, like, any kind of, visual art, like, dance or music or something like that. It kind of like, made their mental status like, stable, and they could see the improvements and everything. So I think probably that might be a plus sign, to consider art as,
Yeah,
affecting
definitely,
the,
because in recent times, art is used for therapeutic purposes, and especially in the younger generation and younger
yeah,
kids, um, they can. I just touched on this topic before that they don't have a verbal vocabulary that strong, but they can very well communicate it with their visuals and what they prepare. And after the COVID, you were just talking about that how the psychiatrists and psychologists need to be there.
okay,
Um, and you would know because you belong to that field that there aren't enough psychiatrists and
yes,
psychologists present to cater
correct,
to the needs of a lot of people's suppressed depressions or anxiety have
yeah,
resurfaced because of the lockdown and all
yeah,
of that. And um, when I started doing the paint and sip events because of that, because people were able to come and in smaller groups, they were able to express themselves and they really enjoyed doing that. They felt better afterwards. So it was
yeah.
therapeutic for them.
Correct, correct. Art therapy is very much followed in majority of the hospitals for the mental health being of the consumers, whoever is there. So it's very well done. Like it could be anything, like the art form, as you said. In fact, like my boss is so passionate about artwork, and we do have the consumers. We have to call them the consumers, right? So they themselves, they paint, they sculpt, they do the drawing and everything, and that is displayed every year. They kind of like change everything, and it's like an exhibition, and it's called Inside Out, and it's open for the public as well. I'll let you know when the next one comes in. And it's all done by the mental health consumers, and it's so beautiful. Like some of them, you kind of see what pain they are undergoing, or sometimes it is like a happy one. You can literally make out, like you
Yeah.
can, though I'm not into that, but as soon as you see that, you would be able to kind of like decipher what their mental status was at that point of time and what they were doing. And they are so beautiful, and they do huge ones, and that is really commendable. It's so beautiful. Yeah. We were talking about visual art. So, is there a difference between a visual art and a fine art? Well, what is it? What is fine art and what is visual art?
Actually,
How,
fine
how,
arts,
how do you draw the
yeah,
line?
fine arts is actually the overarching umbrella, and visual art just falls into it.
Oh,
So does
it
performing
falls
arts.
under
And
that.
yeah.
Right, right. Okay. So, what's your favorite visual art?
um, Advertisement, because you have a very if you are doing it on the media,
Yeah,
like a TV channel or something, you have a
yeah,
very limited time of period in which you have to convey your strong message
yeah,
and make the consumer your client. So that's a very difficult thing to do. So it has always been my favorite medium of arts, fine arts, and
right.
poetry as well. Because in PK, the movie PK, in which Amir Khan plays an alien's role, he asks the girl that kavita kya hoti hai? And the girl explains it very beautifully. She says, बहुत कम शब्दों में बहुत बड़ी बात कहते हैं. So my amma is a poetess, and
Uh,
everyone in my family is almost a poet or
but
an
yeah,
author. My amma has won presidential awards and international awards. She has 3 published books, and I never really understood. I was like, okay, fine, because she was like Ghar ki murgi. So I never paid any heed to
I
her.
did.
She is that good that she's
Uh,
getting awards from everywhere, and she used to go to mushairas to India, Dubai, Norway, everywhere.
everywhere.
um, but when I heard that in PK, I realized that yes, that is a very difficult form of communication.
Yeah,
Um, And though that is not visual arts, but that and advertisement, both, yes, that would be my favorite medium of fine arts.
Okay, okay. And I was just reading one of your what do you call it's like a phrase kind of thing. Dobi ka kutta na ghar ka na ghat ka. So
Yeah.
why do you say that?
Well, anyone who speaks Hindi or Urdu, I'm not sure if you do.
Yes,
Um,
I
you
can
do.
understand. I
So
can see.
so yeah, this is kahawat, a saying used
Yeah,
very like it's used a lot thoroughly in our cultures. That kata is the thing. It's like a wooden thing that
yeah.
the dhobi uses to wash the
Good.
clothes. So
Right. Yeah.
the kata, and it's a kata actually, but it's internationally just said kuta, and
But
yeah, so
that's what we
I
know.
had always
Normally, that's
I recently found
you're
out that
right.
it's the kutta, not the kutta. But even
Kutta,
if
yeah.
you're a kutta, it makes sense that if you have two places and you have one dog, then it won't be able to do justice to either of the places.
Either, yeah.
So, so that is what is happening to us. That is how I feel, and everyone else that I talk to, they miss homeland, they miss home, and it takes them years to realize that now this is our home, and they never feel like they belong here.
Yeah.
And all of us, we at the same time, we do feel that now when we go back and
Yeah.
try to settle in our own countries, we won't be able to do that as well.
Correct.
So
Correct. Yeah.
now we belong everywhere and we have roots everywhere, but we don't really belong.
Correct. Yeah. It's the story of every migrant. It's
Yes,
the
it is.
story of every migrant. Right. Um, like what? Like we've kind of like touched base, and we have also mentioned quite a few career pathways and everything. What are the career prospects like? What you can do if you pursue art. There are so
Well,
many ways. Yeah.
there are a lot of things depending upon where you narrow down your art degree.
Yeah.
Graphic design is very important nowadays because everything is done on social media, and
Correct.
graphic designers are very much in demand.
Yeah.
Art teachers, art therapists,
Yeah.
advertisement, um, all of that. Yes, mainly that I can think of right now.
Yeah, that
There
reminds
are a
me.
lot of
That
other things
reminds
as
me.
well.
My nephew is an industrial graphic designer, and he kind of like works for Biopack. Biopack is the one where they kind of like you get the best example would be recyclable um, dinner plates and
Oh, nice.
the paper cups and things like that. And before that, like he was in another company wherein he used to design boxes, right?
So he's a
With
product designer.
yeah, chocolate boxes like lint box, like Cadbury roses and everything. And the first thing, when he started the job, the first thing he used to do was like open up a box and see how it was. Like I used to think, what is he doing? And then he kind of like explained, Chikama, this is what we do. We open the box and see the nitty gritty of it, like including a small centimeter of it, where it folds, where it bends, and everything. And he was very successful in doing about, I think, 4 years with them. So every time he did was he was the coordinator. I mean, the lead to do the lint. It was lint basically. That was one of their customers the lint boxes for the Easter and
Mm-hmm.
Christmas, as well as there was another one. This was the wine boxes as well as the wine cases, and he was so proud of it, and showing that, and like I used to wonder, like what does industrial design,
See,
graphic designing
we
mean?
tend to undermine creative processes and the creative people around us. But talk about the product designing. I mean, if I'm having a water bottle and it leaks into my bag, I would hate that water bottle. I won't be able to use it again.
Use
So
it,
if someone is
correct?
designing a water bottle that is not leaking into your bag,
Yeah,
how important their job is.
correct,
And
correct.
people undermine arts overall. like look at this era. This is such an uncertain time period. Alhamdulillah, not for us. Like Australia and New Zealand have conquered Corona pretty well, but in rest of the world where people
I
are
know
still in
this.
lockdown, what is getting them through the day? What is getting them through the day? It's Netflix, it's the movies that you watch, it's the music that you listen to, it's YouTube channels, all the creative people. And what I will touch upon the history of how the art was started, how it went under my sorry, you see, it's after 8 and I'm unable to translate my thoughts very well. So after World War II, the first world countries decided that, oh, we need more engineers, we need more doctors, we need more soldiers, and our money is going to go in this field, right? And from where did they start their cutoffs? The first thing that they cut off was art and the leisures. Because at the end of the day, it's considered a leisure. But what it did to their soldiers was that they didn't get the therapies that they needed, and they never could express themselves, and they had the barbed wire sickness and so many different sort of mental illnesses that came along, and they suffered. Their families suffered. Their kids were not able to express themselves because they didn't learn to express themselves. They just learned tables, they did maths, and they did rigorous work at school. So from there, unfortunately, because our region was ruled by the Goras, and they sort of ruined our cultures massively. They took away our nice things. I mean, our poetry was amazing. Our dances were amazing. Our everything was amazing. Dress designing, furniture designing, everything. They took it to their museums. They taught us that, oh, this is not even important. Focus on rigorous studies only. And till date, unfortunately, we are unable to forget that. And after that, they inculcated all of that back into their cultures, and they taught well to their kids, and they went after because they realized that how important art is after a few generations. But unfortunately, our region is still unable to understand that.
What it is. So did you have any resistance from your family when you chose art?
They tried. No, my father kind of begged me that if you have to go to NCA, because I think I was in grade 1 when I first announced that, oh, when I grow up, I'm gonna go to NCA. So, and NCA is the most notorious institute of Pakistan because accidentally everything bad that a student can do happens over there. It's only that it happens in every institute actually, but it says that our people are very open about it, and we're like, fine, we do that, so we do that, and other people will still do that. Shush, shush. And it's still the same with the JJ School of Art. So we just have a bad repute. But naam हुए तो क्या नाम ना होगा. So he asked me that okay, fine, if you have to go to NCA, can you at least do architecture because it will still have a bit of maths to it? And I was like, where he used to travel a lot, and one of his favorite places was Sistine Chapel, and Anne Frank's house. So I asked him that, Abu, when you went to see the Sistine Chapel, did you try and find some numbers in that painting? You didn't. It was pure art. So let me be. And when you went to Anne Frank's house, why did you appreciate that house? Why did you admire that place? Because of her writing. So let me be that person. And maybe one day people will be able to appreciate the things that I create.
I do. Yeah. Okay.
And I will be able to make a difference.
Convince him that way.
I was taught to do that because by profession he was a lawyer, so he told us always to present an argument logically.
Right. Would you like to show some of your art pieces or what you have done?
Yeah, my studio is a mess. I tried to clean it up today though for my audiences. I will show you around.
Yeah. Okay.
So how do I switch the camera? Yeah. Okay, so that's an abstract piece, and this is This is Azad, the big one, and
Uh-huh.
this is Bol Kilab. So one of my favorite poets is Faiz Ahmed Faiz, and this is by him.
Uh-huh.
A ghazal says Bol Kilab Azad hai tere.
Uh-huh.
Um, Now this is a series that I did on diaspora.
Uh-huh.
As you can see, can you make what it is?
Yeah,
It's the
I couldn't make
outline of
what it is.
Australia,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it is tiny
Oh,
sculpted heads.
oh. So what is it? Is it like a stone or paper mache
No, these are sculpted in plaster of Paris.
or plaster of Paris? Ah. So they are
So this one,
miniature ones, is it? They are little ones or?
yes, exactly. They were done in miniature technique.
Uh-huh.
So this one is the rainbow one representing the LGBTQIA,
Oh, yes.
and this is the one that is all gold. I use 24 karat gold a lot in my art. I
Oh,
have
wow.
yeah, and this is again just like my sari. I bought this
Uh-huh.
sari actually after I had made this piece,
Uh-huh.
and this also represents the religions that we have over here.
Over here.
And yeah,
Oh, that's
it signifies
beautiful.
the diversity.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. What made you use gold in your art?
Well, our heritage, because I've learned the traditional miniature art painting, which was basically used in the darbars, and it was used
Uh-huh.
as a way of illustrating what was
Yeah,
happening in the darbars, and the royalties wanted to
yeah,
show off their royalty. So
yeah.
um, the colors in those times were like gold was made from 24 karat gold, the reds were made
Correct.
from crushed rubies, and blues
Ah,
were made from crushed jades, and so on
yeah,
and so forth. So in modern days, the only pigment that I can afford in its natural form is gold.
gold. Okay, okay. Yeah, we do
So
have like
this,
banjo painting and all. It's all done in 24 karat gold. Yeah, like
yeah. So
yeah.
this is a sculpture
That's the
piece that
O.
I'm working on.
That's
Yes,
an O,
it's
is it?
actually a contemporary form
Uh,
of Shiv,
yeah, yeah.
Om,
Oh, that's beautiful.
and Ganpati.
Oh, Ganapati also. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it is
that's
half done.
lovely.
This is fiberglass, so I am finishing it off right now. A lot is happening over here. So
Uh-huh.
if something is missing, I will add something apati to it, and then it will be buffed, and then I will paint it according to what my client has asked me for.
Uh,
And
oh,
these
okay.
are the
That's
side
lovely.
panels that
Oh,
would go with the sculpture.
sculpture. Okay. So they are like
Yeah, they
leaves
are feathered.
in okay. Oh, feathers. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I thought it's a leaf. Okay. Yeah.
This is just a rough sketch that I was doing.
Uh-huh.
Um, then this is one of my clients' work. It is ready to be picked up.
Right. Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Uh, these are also for my clients.
Uh-huh.
This is Who, which is like how you guys chant Om. We
Oh, yes.
chant Who. And these are the abstract form of the dervish from the Turkish culture.
Right. Okay.
Again, gold, and this is Arabic calligraphy
Uh-huh.
with an abstract background. And this is one of my prints.
Oh, what is it? Like it's like an
These are
Egyptian king or
African
something?
masks.
What's that?
African masks.
African mask. Okay, okay, okay. It's just a painting. It's not a mask as such, right?
No, it's a print actually. So
Oh,
I
okay.
have multiple copies of that.
Oh, okay.
Um, this is for another client. It's a calligraphy.
Right.
This I did. This is up for sale if somebody wants that.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is what I have in my studio for now, and I can show you some of the artworks that is
Uh-huh.
hanging in my home.
Yeah. It's a big studio.
Yeah, I basically converted my garage into my studio.
Ah, no, lovely. Oh,
So this
wow.
is my favorite corner of my house. Every picture that you will ever see of mine would probably be from here.
Okay, okay.
So these are some photographies. This is
Uh-huh.
my traditional miniature work.
Right. This is the one I fell for. Like I said, like as soon as I saw, I said, Jugni, you have to do something about your Islamic art.
Yeah. And
I'll
this
get you
is the
again. You can do
contemporary,
specifically your Islamic art.
this
Oh,
is the
that's,
contemporary miniature work.
uh-huh.
So these black lines that you see, they are my hair.
They
And
are what?
my hair. The spirals are created with my hair.
Ah,
And this is um, developed from what would the ballpoint, a very thin ballpoint.
right, right.
These are also masks. I used
Uh-huh.
to have, I think, for African masks. This is an old work from my student life. This is the same print done in a different technique, the one hanging in my studio. So this
Uh-huh.
is done in Shinkole. In
Chilkul.
Shinkole,
Uh-huh.
you use different textures and then you add your print to that.
Okay.
This is also miniature painting. It's an
Uh-huh.
abstract port
Right.
done in Safed Kalam.
Okay.
And these are some contemporary miniature works.
Right, right.
Yeah, and then I do a lot of upscales projects as well, like this lampshade.
Lampshade. Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
So it's done in embroidery and paint.
Oh, you have embroidered it?
Yes,
Oh, you know embroidery as well.
yes.
Oh,
I am what we call Harfan Mola.
ah, that's excellent. That's excellent. I did see the pillowcases which caught my attention. Did you paint on the pillowcases?
No, I got them online. I ordered them.
Okay, okay. That's lovely. That's lovely, Jugni. It's
Thank
nice.
you.
It's nice to kind of like, know from your perspective what art is all about. And hopefully whoever is seeing, they can take home some message across.
Hopefully.
Hmm. Hmm. Do you have to say something, Jugni, before we go?
And yeah, just one thing to my fellow beings, the fellow migrants, that we have worked hard enough, and it's basically for our next generation that they don't have to live in a third world country and
Country.
see all the hardships that our parents did or ancestors did, and we did. And they can actually live an alternate lifestyle. So let them be. And rigor is important, but um, there should be a breathing space for the kids. I see all the Desi parents sending their kids to tuition starting as early as kindy. So please don't do that. Let your kids be expressive. Send them to art classes. If not, teach them art, facilitate them with art, buy them materials, not toys, because it's going to open their creativity in their mind and let their creative juices flow. Because in the coming times, if any parent would Google the careers of 2030, by the time our kids are grown up to enter the professional lives, the most important career at that time, and we can still see, is of therapists. And there's a reason why therapy would be that important by then, or
Important.
it is important now,
Yeah.
because our people don't know how to express themselves. Unfortunately, we were always taught that suppressing our emotions, suppressing our feelings was
Feelings.
the way to be.
Hmm.
And we
Hmm.
were being respectful, but no, we were not. We were being suppressed, and we
Yeah.
should not be doing that, the
Doing
same
that
thing to our
again.
next
Correct.
generation.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Nice. Thank you so much, Jugni. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining in and spending your precious time. It was very, very informative. The journey which we went through, it's really informative, and hopefully, the message reaches everyone. Yeah.
Hopefully. Thank you
All right.
so much, Hema, for having me
Thank you
online.
very much. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right then.
Good
Good night.
good
See you,
night.
ladies. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye. I'll tell the audience, watch out for the next week's session. Again, it will be an interesting one. It's very unique. You guys wouldn't have seen that on my platform, or probably you guys might have seen it somewhere else. But stay tuned. It gets advertised and publicized on Sunday, like, you know, what's exactly is happening next week. And please do join in. And I will be signing off. Thank you very much for joining in. Bye for now, ladies. Bye.